You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Okay. Sorry. We're doing something very unusual today. Hi, welcome to the Talking Real Money Daily Podcast. I'm Don McDonald. Today we're going to do something I don't believe I've ever done. We're going to try it and see if it works. Together, we're going to listen to a few minutes of a podcast, and I'll comment a little throughout. And then I want to comment on the caliber of the advice. And I have to tell you, this is a podcast that has a huge, gigantic audience. I mean, second or third only to Dave Ramsey. And I don't know why it has such a big audience, because the advice this man gives and has given throughout his career is nothing short of deplorable. It is terrible advice. And yet, hundreds of thousands of people listen to him. It tells you there's something wrong with our intellect or something. I don't know what it is, but I don't get it. Please, if you can explain it to me, why you believe that this guy's advice is any good, call me at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, or send me a note at talkingrealmoney.com. I'd like to know why some of you bother, because it's just bad. And I'm going to tell you how bad some of it is after we're done together listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki on his podcast.
And the question is, what lies ahead in the future? I mean, is this for real, or will it just bounce back? Is it time to just buy the dips, as they always tell you, and say, don't worry, just invest, buy, hold, and pray for the long term?
That's always worked.
So if you believe that garbage, I have a bridge here in Phoenix you can buy. We don't have bridges, but you can buy it anyway. Anyway, our guest today is an old-time friend.
Wait, it gets worse.
Person I respect a lot. He is known as a forecaster. His name is Harry Dent. He's a best-selling author. His latest book is 0 Hour, Turn the Greatest Political and Financial Upheaval in Modern History to Your Advantage. He's called The Great Boom Ahead, and it did boom. And then he calls for the Great Bust Ahead, and now it's busting. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see and peer into the future, Harry Dent's the guy. Now, I'm not saying he's always right.
No, he's wrong more often.
But he always stretches my brain and causes me to look differently at what's going on in the world today, especially in the world of money. And for all you old guys like me, if you're a baby boomer, not only is a coronavirus after you, because it only kills old guys, but it's also going after your retirement.
Okay, I'm going to stop that right there, because I really don't need to listen anymore. As a matter of fact, I did listen, so I know what kind of horrible advice they're giving. Of course, this is the end of the world, according to both of them, but I have to tell you, Harry Dent has been predicting the end of the world, let's see, since 2009, because he wrote a book in 2009, which was so right on. I mean, I don't know how we can doubt him. It was called The Great Depression Ahead in 2009. You remember the Great Depression of 2009, right? Well, in 1998, he wrote a book about how the 2000s were going to be the most incredible market for the U.S. He called it the Roaring 2000s. Remember what happened during the 2000s? Yeah, the S&P 500 was absolutely flat for the entire period. To add insult to injury, after his failed prediction of the Great Depression ahead in 2009, he doubled down in 2011, predicting the Roaring 2000s. Then in 2016, he predicted a bubble bursting. You see, if you keep doing it over and over and over again, eventually, as Bobby Kiyosaki just claimed, he got this right. He didn't get this right. He's worse than a stopped clock. His advice is terrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I challenge you, just type in Harry Dent Jr. and look at the publication dates of his books and see how accurate he has not been. He has not been. His books are terrible. His advice is awful. He's a guesser. He's not a prognosticator or a predictor. No one is. And let's talk about bad advice for a minute. Let's go to Robert Kiyosaki. Bob is telling you right now there are 3 things you should be investing in. Just 3 things, Bob. Just 3 things. He's telling you right now you should get into Bitcoin, gold, or silver. And he's a big silver bull. Well, he's full of silver bull. Now, is that a brand new prediction on the part of Robert Kiyosaki? No, it is not. In 2010, he predicted that silver would go to $6,000 an ounce. Well, now it's 10 years later, and what did silver do? Well, let's just look at a 10-year chart, shall we? Let's see. 2010, silver fluctuated between $17 and $18 an ounce for most of that time. It did toward the end of the year rise to about 20... Where'd it go to by the end? Yeah, about $29. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll go with the lower end, and we put $100,000 in at about $17 an ounce because we were really smart. And it went way up to $42 in 2011, so we looked brilliant for a while. And then it went down and stayed down, and right now, silver's even gone down since the market's gone down. As a matter of fact, it was $17 at the beginning of March, $18 at the beginning of March, and it's now down to about $14 an ounce. So if you had invested $100,000 10 years ago, it would be worth about $82,000 today. Now, what if you had taken that same $100,000 and put it into a portfolio of stocks and you just rode through the ups and downs, including the current down, right now down? We've had a down. We had a down in 18. We had other downs along the way, 11 and the like. What if you just rode through those, that buy and hold and hope or whatever they call it, Bob? Well, your $100,000 would be $165,000 without you doing a darn thing in a globally diversified portfolio of equities. These guys give horrible advice. Why? Why do we buy their books? Why do we listen to their podcasts or their radio shows or watch their videos or pay any attention to them whatsoever? Why? I don't get it. What's wrong with our brains that we buy into garbage, pablum, stupidity? It's just stupidity. Their advice is horrible, and they have no track record of success except in selling books. None. Why? What is wrong with us? If you can help me figure that out, please call 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, or send in your explanation to talkingrealmoney.com. Hit the contact form. You can also send in questions, commentary of any kind, too, because I love to hear from you. And we're going to do just that right now. We do not have any phone calls again. Sometimes we just get a burst of calls and then we don't get any, but we get a burst of questions to the website. So we've got a lot of questions to the website, and we're going to go through a couple of those on this podcast. So Let's start right here. The topic, investments for grandchildren. I am 62 and still working, but will be retiring in 4 years. A family member recently gave me $1,000 each for my 2 grandchildren, and I would like to invest this money on their behalf. I thought of opening 529 accounts, but have significant doubts that they will attend college. I may contribute to these accounts in the future and would like to maintain control of the money until they are at least 25. What would you advise? Well, maintaining control of money for children, if it ever goes into their name, is very difficult to do. However, with the 529, because 529 accounts must be used for education, you do have some control as the creator, the custodian of the account. If you just put it in their names through a uniform gift to minors account, well, at the age of majority, the money becomes theirs. Whether you choose to tell them about it is another thing, but it becomes theirs. If you open a 529, though, you don't have to use it for the designated beneficiary. Let's say one of the 2 grandchildren does go on to college. Well, you can use it all for that child. Or let's say one goes to college, the other goes to trade school. You can use the money to pay for trade school. Oh, man. So there is some flexibility there, but it does need to be used for some sort of education. Could even be used, I don't know how old they are, but what if they need to go to some sort of a private school in the future? It could be used for that too. So there are a lot of things for which it can be used. You might want to go to my529.com, which is the homepage for the Utah 529 account, and just look over the rules and regs. They're not particularly strict, but it's hard to not give the money to kids if you put it in their names. Now, you could just keep it earmarked in your account for them and put them on as beneficiaries, possibly, in case something happens to you. But not a lot of options unless you want to start a trust, and that's going to get kind of expensive. Thanks for the note. Send yours in to talkingrealmoney.com, the contact page, or call them in anytime to 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. This one says, Saturday show. It's been a while since I've been to your website. You used to have the Saturday broadcast as a podcast somewhere here. I would like to know where you have placed them. In particular, I didn't understand the discussion about converting IRAs to Roths and some sort of ratio. Well, the ratio we were talking about in that podcast a couple weeks ago was a ratio if you are moving a non-deductible IRA into a Roth and you have other regular IRAs, a portion of those regular IRAs must be converted to Roth too, and the taxes paid on that. As for where the Saturday shows are, we mix them in during the course of the week. Tomorrow should be the first hour of Saturday's show. Tomorrow is the 7th of April. And then probably on Wednesday, we'll do the other one. But you can just look for the longer podcasts. Look for the ones that are over 30 minutes. And those are the repurposed Saturday shows. As you can see, with 30 minutes, that's how much news, traffic, weather, and commercials go into the radio show. What's left is about 35 minutes. Again, thanks for the note. I really appreciate it. I think I will do one more because this is pretty darn quick. This is about life insurance. While helping my 81-year-old mom fill out an application for a senior apartment, she tells me she pays $8 a month for blank years for a $2,000 policy to help her pay for burial costs. At what point do you no longer need life insurance? Was this a bad buy? I don't know how long she's been paying into it, and I don't know the nature of the policy and what kind of exclusions it has. But yeah, generally they're not the best buys. But at this point, you know, if she's paying $8 a month, so she's paying less than $100 a year. I don't know how long she's been paying into it, but it's probably not a terrible thing. Again, depending on the policy and the exclusions, but generally buying these kinds of things is not worthwhile. Most of the time, the insurance company wins. these bets. They do. They have to. That's how they make a profit. So generally speaking, no, they're not a particularly good deal. And again, thanks for the note. Thanks for the questions. Call them in to 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, or send them in with your fingers typing on a keyboard at talkingrealmoney.com, also at talkingrealmoney.com, and again at talkingrealmoney.com. If you're dealing with something for which you need a little more advice than we can provide in this show, set up an appointment with one of our advisors. I promise no high-pressure sales pitch. You get a meeting for free. You don't get multiples, but you get one. And it's really, really easy. We do it all online, so it's really safe, no viruses. So check it out. Go to talkingrealmoney.com. Find all the good stuff there. That's talkingrealmoney.com. Thanks for listening. Tell a friend or two, and subscribe to the podcast. We'll talk to you soon. I'm Don McDonald.
Talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?